Hi, today in art we're going to make an autumn piece of art. We're going to use some leaf stencils and construction paper crayons. We're also going to use some of the lines we've been learning about in art, like diagonals and dashes. So everybody is going to have a tray of leaf stencils to share at your table. Some might be big, and some might be thin. You're going to try to get at least 3 leaves on your paper. We're going to use orange paper and construction paper crayons, which are all warm colors, reds, yellows, oranges. So I want to start by trying to get my leaf situated in the corner of my paper that leaves me the most amount of room to be able to add in other leaves. Once I start to draw, I push down hard and make sure I don't let my leaf move, and I start to stencil around it. So I push my crayon right up to the edge of the leaf stencil and don't let it move. I'm not trying to write on the leaf. I'm not trying to write on the table. I'm trying to get the shape of the leaf. Now I made all of these stencils from real leaves that I found outside that were starting to fall off of the trees. So they have shapes of real leaves, like this one that is a maple leaf. After you trace each leaf stencil, you need to look at the lines that are on the leaf. These diagonal lines are called the veins. They are what carry the water up from the roots of the tree out to all of the branches. So look at the way that I have tried to copy those veins onto the leaf stencil that you have and see if you can draw them pretty much the same way. So there's my first leaf. I want to continue to try to space out my leaves so I can get 3 on this one sheet of paper. So next I'm going to pick kind of a medium-sized leaf. I had a big leaf. This one's sort of more medium-sized. And I'm going to turn them different directions so that it looks like the wind is blowing them around. And I'm going to put my crayon right up to the edge of it. Don't let it move. And show all of those curves and jagged lines that make the natural shape of the leaf. Now we've learned about shapes like squares and triangles that have a certain number of sides and angles, but leaves are an organic shape, a natural shape. If you want to, you can put a little stem on the end from where it came off of the tree. Now I'm going to look at all of the veins and try to draw the veins going in the same direction as they were on the real leaf. So I know from what I've learned in art, those are all diagonal lines. Good, I have room enough for this last leaf. This one is the very thinnest leaf. And it's going to be turned in another direction also. And now I'm going to use a very dark brown. I'm going to add a little stem at the bottom where it fell off the tree. And now I need to look at my leaf and show the veins. Now that I'm done with my leaf stencils, I put them back in the tray. I'm going to surround them all with dashed lines. And I want my dashed lines to go in kind of the same direction. And what I'm thinking about is the wind. So these dashed lines for me, they represent the wind blowing the leaves off the trees. So you'll see as I do my dashed line, I might take it in a direction like the curves here. I'm thinking about the wind blowing all those leaves down. And I want to get in between all of the different parts of the leaf. So the dashed lines, they're kind of in the background, and the leaves are in the front. But I have to go behind them and beside them with the same color of dashes for it to look like it. And I'm continuing that direction all down the sides. I want to go on every part of the leaf. And right now I'm using one color. I'm using the dark brown that I just had in my hand. But now I'm going to come back with the other colors as well. I want dashed lines of all of these colors to show the movement of the wind. You'll notice on windy days in the autumn, a lot more leaves fall down off trees than on days when it is not windy. Now I want to use at least 3 colors of crayons for my dash lines that show the rhythm of the wind. Make sure I get around every one of these leaves. And let me use one more color. I have a nice orange. Here's a medium orange. Oh, I like this one. This one is very close to the color of the paper, so it's a little hard to see at first. But then I have a dark color, a light color, and a medium color, so I have good variety in my work. But they all are the colors of autumn. Once we get done with this, we're going to paint them. But this really looks like wind. I really like the effect of this, doing the dashed lines in between. Now, we are going to use tempera cake paints. We're going to paint one leaf red, one leaf yellow, and one leaf orange. So when you're using tempera cake paints, you start by dipping your brush in water. Make sure the water jar stays on the tray. And then you're going to carefully rub the color off of the tempera cake. When we paint, I want you to try to stay inside of that first leaf that you did. So the whole time we are respecting those lines, trying to stay inside of the line. Now you may see, like on mine, the leaf doesn't turn a very bright yellow. And that's okay. We're trying to make it change from the orange color of the paper though. Just like the leaves outside start to change from green to brown and orange and red. And we have learned in art class that those colors were there all along. The thing that makes leaves green is chlorophyll. And in the fall, when the sun becomes less intense, the chlorophyll stops producing sugars and the trees start to store their energy for the wintertime. But When the chlorophyll stops being so pronounced, then we can see all the other colors that were there all along. We can see the red and the orange and even purple. Try to stay inside of that leaf. Don't use very much water, or you might put a hole in your paper. So hopefully when that dries, I have a leaf that's got some orange on it and some yellow. My next leaf I want to paint red. So just like before, I dip my brush in the water and then I rub. I'm very gently rubbing the red tempera cake. Again, I'm not using too much water. I'm dipping in the water and then rubbing the cake a lot. Now you'll see the crayon pushes the paint away. And then I can still see the crayon line through it. That's because wax and water do not mix. And I want to be very careful and stay inside of the lines. My last leaf I'm going to paint green. So I have my green tempera cake. I just touch it lightly with the wet paintbrush and touch it again and again. I rub it about 10 times. And so the green is going to work with the orange paper to make this leaf look more brown. That's why I picked my brown leaf to paint. And I want to follow the direction of the veins. So notice whenever I do my brush strokes, I'm going the same direction the veins went. Usually when I paint something like this that I've drawn, I follow the shape of the thing with the direction of my paintbrush. The lines that we drew are like contour lines. They show us the shape of the item. So in this case, it's a leaf. And those veins show us the natural shape of it. So I kind of follow those lines as you paint. I'm brushing very gently, not using very much water, and trying to stay in the lines of my leaf. I can't wait to see how yours turns out.